Start with something really simple, and if you can get this one, we can go to even some what I call deeper language in the next one or two periscopes, and that is this. Using the words I'm surprised and I'm not surprised. So when your child shows behavior that you don't like or you don't appreciate or that you believe needs to be, hey there now, excited for this evening's periscope. Good, so am I. It's a hot topic. Like heaps of you have given me feedback on this, or you've come to me and you've said, oh my gosh, this worked straight away. And, and not just that it worked and the child gave you the behavior that you wanted, but more importantly, you're noticing some different feelings in your children. And that's what I love. Like that lights up my world when I get messages from you. And I've got an announcement to make at the end of this periscope. Stay on the line for the announcement at the end. I believe that you'll love it. But that's what I love. It's the feeling in the child that you can just see in their eyes that they just feel good about themselves. And then as soon as you see that, you feel good about yourself. Their vibration affects your vibration. Your heart opens even more. And once you've got an open heart, there's a whole lot more connectedness that goes on inside your home. And when there's a whole lot more connectedness, there's a whole lot more harmony. But you can't do that with a bit of a wall around your heart, all right? So we want to build their self-esteem so that you're feeling good as a parent. You're not feeling like you're crushing them, but you're still managing and controlling their behavior so that you're not exhausting yourself. So whenever they show you behavior that you do not like, I want you to be surprised and shocked about that. So it's like, wow, I'm surprised by this. Well, gosh, this isn't what I expected. Oh, wow, this is a shock. I certainly didn't expect this. Okay, be surprised by behavior you don't like, because what that says subconsciously to the child is, oh, this isn't who I think you are. Like my opinion of you and the behavior you're showing me, that they're not matching up right now. I don't believe this is you. This is certainly not what I have. Much higher expectations. I believe you're someone totally different to the person you're showing me you are right now. It's not you, it's your behavior. And so, what it does is it makes the child, when we're surprised by anything, if they get, for older children, they might get detentions, made a huge difference. It really does. It's so simple to do as a parent. You don't even barely have to think much. It's not a whole sentence. It's a word. Wow, I'm surprised by that. Anytime that they get in trouble or, they hit their sibling or something, it's like, wow. Now, this is behavior that I'm very surprised by. What it says is, I don't expect this of you. My belief of you in who you are and the kind of behavior that you are, or the kind of choices that you're good at making in terms of your behavior is way beyond the behavior you're choosing right now. So it reminds the child, this isn't what I expected, but it reminds them that we believe in them. Okay. Now, the opposites. Now, obviously, you use. Let me finish on that first. You use the whole "I'm surprised" rather than "Oh my gosh, how many times do I have to tell you?" Look at you. You're always doing this. You're always using your loud voice, or you're always yelling, or so. Rather than continuing to affirm to them, no, that's a good one, Belinda Chapman. Absolutely not. I'm disappointed. Well, I'm really disappointed with this. What you're saying in that regard is, well, you're letting them know what your expectations are. You're basically programming their behavior because you're bringing a picture into their mind. You're giving energy to and affirming something you don't want. And the subconscious mind, it thinks in pictures and it gives its attention to whatever it's thinking about, and what it's thinking about really, so our words become our children's inner voice. So whatever it is we're saying to them, they're getting pictures on that, and then they give energy to that, and now that reinforces the behavior we don't want. Oh my gosh, look at you. Can you ever clean up after yourself? Oh my God, how many times do I have to tell you? You're always leaving your toys around. You're never picking up your clothes or whatever it might be. What we're doing is we're saying, we're just affirming what we don't want. We're telling them, this is who I think you are. Let me just remind you, I'm not surprised because you do this all the time. So we want to reverse that because we separate the deed from the doer. All right, write that down. Take a note on that. Separate the deed from the doer. I love you, but I don't like this behavior. Okay, well, this is not what I expected. Now, the flip side of that is when they show us behavior that we want and that we love. Yeah, the check yourself works really good too. We did that on Periscope, what was it, a couple of weeks ago or a week ago or something. Definitely works. But when they give you behavior that you do want. Now, on the next Periscope, I'm going to build on this. So pay attention here, okay? I'm going to build on this on the next one. So if you haven't heard this before, listen really closely. And if you have heard this before, just pay attention just in case you've missed something, or, the little subtleties are what make the great differences. So when they do something really good, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. You see, we've been programmed by society to go, oh, wow, that's amazing. Oh, look at you. You are such a good girl. And we go overboard with behavior that we expected and that we wanted. And what happens is when your child brings you a piece of work, or they come and let you know they've done something or they've learned something, and they're excited to show you what they've learned or what they've done, when we go, oh, wow, that's amazing. Oh, my gosh, look at this. It's more about the tone that we use, okay? Because if we sound surprised, what that says to the child is, oh, they didn't expect this of me. What it says is, I didn't believe you were capable of this. This is far beyond what I thought you could ever do. Wow, I'm surprised by what you've been able to do here. So subconsciously it's saying, I didn't believe you're this good. All right, and they live up to the expectations that they believe we have of them. So we're letting them know through our language what our expectations are, and they will live up to the expectations that we have of them. But, sometimes that message gets lost in translation. So we use the word, I'm surprised, or something like that. Wow, I'm shocked, or gosh, this takes me by surprise. This is certainly not what I expected, all right? So that's like that's kind of like the red light, like stop what you're doing, and you're portraying that you're disappointed. You don't need to necessarily say, well, I'm so disappointed in this, okay? You can. I'm not saying you can't say that every now and then. You might want to, need to. You're not going to scare your children if you use that. But But the message you communicate is that you are disappointed, and they feel that. You don't necessarily need to say that, because then that becomes really targeted on the doer, not the deed. It wasn't what you did. I'm disappointed in you, not at the behavior. So we really want to separate those two things, all right? So just recapping, I'm surprised when something goes wrong and they're not using behavior, or wow, I'm surprised by the fact you're using your loud voice. Normally, you always remember what kind of voice we use when we're inside. And it just reminds them, oh yeah, my mum knows I'm pretty good. Or my dad knows how good I am. Oh yeah, that's right, I'll just remind myself of that. And your tone, so be, not just say I'm surprised, but be surprised. Use your tone and everything like, wow. Well, I'm going to need a minute to process this, because this is not what I expected. Okay? And then on the opposite side, when they're doing great things, and we want to reinforce that. But essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to give their brain some triggers where they say to themselves, I'm better than this. Yeah, I've really fallen short of what I'm capable of here. Or when we're saying, well, I'm not so when they do something good and we say, I'm not surprised. So number one, we don't go, oh, wow, this is amazing. The subconscious message there is, I don't think you could do this. All right. And I know I've repeated myself there, but the follow on from that is what we do say is, well, I'm not surprised. So they come and say, Mom, this happened today, or that happened today. Look at my drawing. You go, wow. Well, I appreciate the colors. And what I can see here is that you've really had to focus on this, because there's a lot of detail in this drawing. I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised that, you're the kind of person that's always focused on things you want to do. So I'm not surprised when they do something really good. Oh, Mum, I made the basketball team. Of course you did. I'm not surprised by that at all. And the subconscious message, and don't act surprised, okay? The subconscious message is, oh, she already knew I would. Oh, that must mean that she believes that I'm good enough to do those kind of things. Okay, well, if that's what she believes I'm good enough to do, well, then I guess I'll do them. All right, because our words become their inner voice. So I'm going to stop that right there. If you do have some questions, I'll stay on the line for about another 90 seconds. I'm happy to answer some questions. I want to keep that really short, and I want you to practice it. Like, search for opportunities to do it. Anytime you're about to ask them to stop, or you're going to yell at them, or you're going to say, you're going to raise your voice. I'm finding it hard changing the wow, because he's used to the excitement, happy wow. Usually, yeah. And listen, we're creatures of habit. And thank you, Sarah, for being so open about that. Let's just take it one step at a time. If you're not saying, if it's hard to stop saying wow, say wow. Just don't say it with like wow. Just go wow. this is impressive. I'm not surprised at all. This is exactly what I expected. But wow. So you can say wow. It's more the tone that you say it with. How do we discuss proudness? You know what? That's a great question for another day, like to go through, pride and everything. But for tonight, I'm going to keep it. It's okay to say great job. Well, there's going to be a big topic on that at the next workshop I do all the way around the country. But rather than saying great job, do you know what? I've got some energy around that. Here's what I want to do. The next topic of Periscope is going to be, let's nail this, because again, we're getting so many people, getting so much value. Let's nail how to give praise. All right. Let's really go into some detail on the next Periscope. We'll keep it to 10, 15 minutes max, but I'll go through effective praise and non-effective praise, because good job, for example, or well done, or good girl or something, that's what's called, that's non-effective praise. That teaches them to become people pleasers. It teaches them to look for external validation. You guys all want that? All right, I'll do that. Okay, you just changed my schedule, but that's okay, no worries. All right, now let me make an announcement before I'm going to go through that. All right, I got the message loud and clear, and thank you. This is what I love about Periscope. We literally feel. All right, look at yourself. All right, does anyone else want to say it? Oh, gotcha. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Next Periscope, we're going to go through the difference between praise that isn't effective and praise that's extremely effective. But in between now and then, practice what we've covered tonight. Now, so that I can give you all more value, I've got an announcement to make, okay? I have just set up a new Facebook group, not a Facebook page, but a Facebook group. I want to build a massive community, tens of thousands of people that are like all of us. They want to, parent their children consciously and parent on purpose, not on programming, not by default, not on autopilot with the way that we were raised. People are like, you know what? I know I need to break that cycle. I know I don't want to raise my children the same way I was raised. I want to be conscious. I want to catch myself in those moments. I want to handle my language differently. I want to make sure that I'm instilling all this self-esteem rather than this external validation in my child. So I've set up a Facebook group, and here's the point of it. Okay, some of you have already added to it literally a minute before we jumped on the line. Anyone can add anyone. Anyone you know that's a parent, a school teacher, deals with kids in any way, an auntie and uncle that actually cares about what they do inside the house. Bring everyone into this group. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to be able to provide a lot more value, because what's happening at the moment is so many of you, I'm on conversations with each of you in all different news feeds, but the rest of our community can't see when I'm talking to you, and then you can't see when I'm talking to someone else. And some of your questions that I'm answering in the conversation threads are incredible questions. And everyone who thinks like us, all of us on the line right now, can benefit so much from each other. So many of you are sharing, testimonies, but if you all aren't friends with each other, you're not seeing it. I'm getting tagged in lots of stuff. I'm getting tagged in all these success stories and these stories that just warm your heart and kind of, just lift your spirits if you're having a bad day. It's amazing. But I want to bring us all together now. So I've literally just set up the group tonight. I'm going to, here's what it is. Write this down, because you don't even need me to add you. So it's facebook.com. So go on Facebook, or www.facebook.com/groups/powerful parenting. Facebook.com/groups/powerful parenting. Anyone you know, do me a favor, bring everybody. Let's seriously get this group to like 1,000 inside the first week. And I'm going to be able to, we're all going to be able to share ideas, all of you. Some of the advice you guys will give to each other is awesome. Some of you, have hung around with me a little bit longer and you know this stuff, and we can just powerful parenting, not powerfully renting. Powerful, I think that was just a typo. Powerful parenting. All right, so let's do that, because beautiful. Thanks, guys. Yeah, gotcha, says, no worries. So I want to be able to really give myself in that group. So whenever someone asks a question, you know, we can all follow the comments. We can all, so that when you know, I'm covering principles on Periscope and in workshops, but I can't get to the specifics of your child on something like this. But in that group, I can, and then other people with a child like yours get benefit from that too. Instead of me answering your question on one of your posts, but then the other 1,000 people in this network don't get access to that answer, and I'm answering the same thing 10 times in a week, and then I can't get to as many things. So that group's up and going right now. Let's all communicate. Let's come together. Let's seriously, you know, I want you to be as involved in this and contribute. It's not my group, it's our group. Let's create this force that is able to seriously impact humanity and the way that we raise the next generation. Because the way that we were raised is old and outdated and ineffective. It's last generation stuff. We can't raise today's kids for tomorrow's world with last generation's parenting style. So I'm done there, guys. Good night to all of you. I'll see you back on the line on Thursday. We're going to cover this praise topic. We're going to nail this praise topic. In the meantime, please share your success stories. Please share what's going on. Please ask questions. And I will be heavily involved in that group to provide you with as much value as I can. Good night. And hey, listen up. Remember, we're going to end the call the same way every time. As you leave here tonight, depart here with some courage. Because really everything we're talking about, it's one thing to know it, you got to have the courage to use it. You got to believe in yourself for that split second moment you catch yourself saying the wrong thing or using the wrong language. Find yourself some courage, because courage will be able to help, you know, really help you change all of your habitual behaviors. So as you leave here tonight, take with you, depart here with courage, the courage to believe in a better way. Let go of that status quo. Believe in a better way. The courage to voice what you've got to say, because all those things that you haven't said, they're like wrecking balls in your head. And that actually comes from the song Brave. I love that song, and that just rhymed and I didn't even mean it to, but that's the truth. And listen to me, I don't just say this to sound all cute at the end of a Periscope and give you some poem. All right, I want you to hear what I'm saying to you. I want you to believe. I want you to have the courage to believe in a better way, to be able, the courage to voice what you've got to say. Start speaking up. And start giving your children the space to speak up to, all right? The courage to thrive when times are tough. And above all else, the courage to know you are good enough. Good night, everyone.